Hi, in the previous section we saw Ember controllers. Welcome to section 6, Ember components. Components are a major feature of Ember.js. With components you can encapsulate code and create widgets and custom tags. In this section we'll see how to use components in an application, handle events and actions, pass properties to a component, and wrap content inside of it using yield. This is the first video of the section, using components in an application. In this video, we'll see how to create a component and add it to a template. To begin with, we'll create a simple component that displays student information. In a new application, we have to generate a new component. As I already created a component, I don't need to do that again, but I will tell you the command. Ember.js component student-info. All components must have a dash in their names. This will generate the student-info.js component in app components folder, and also in app templates components below as student-info.hbs. Now we have to edit the student-info.js file. We add a few simple properties here. We have added 3 properties: name, grade, and nickname. We'll use these later on in our template. Then we update the component student-info.hbs template in the app templates components folder. In this template, we are simply displaying information from the component, so here is the code for that. Finally, let's edit the application.hbs file in the app templates folder. The component is added to the application template by adding the handlebars expression student-info to it. This will register an inline handlebars helper automatically and render the contents of the student-info.hbs file to the application.hbs file. Then we will edit the student-info.hbs file and add yield to it. The yield expression will be the placeholder where the outside template will render when the component is in block form. We'll discuss this in a later video. Next, update the application.hbs file with the new block form component. The component has a hash in front of the name. This is a signal to the handlebars templating engine that the component will be in block form. The yield helper in the student-info.hbs file will display the contents in the block. Now we will run the Ember server. So I'll open the terminal window, type the command Ember server. You can see that the server is being connected. Now we will open our browser and navigate to localhost :4200. We see the information of the student. All components are div tags. In other words, all components that are created by default will be rendered in a div tag. This can be changed using the tagline property. You simply need to add this property to the JavaScript file in the components directory. Let's take a look at an example of doing this with the student component that we created in the earlier section. In a new project, create the student-info component. For that, we need to run the command Ember.js component student-info. Now I will edit the student-info.js file and add this information. This component has the same properties as before. Update the student-info.hbs with this information. Following that, we create a new application root in the app routes folder and add a new model method called comp::application.js file. This model sends back a string array. This array will be used in our template as the name of the component that we want to display dynamically. This is the last step. We update the application.hbs file in the app templates folder and add a new each helper that will display the new dynamic component. To display a dynamic component, you must use the component helper. The first argument of the helper is the name of the component that you want to use. In this case, comp is rendered to student-info. Note that we can use the component helper in line or in block form. If the component is rendered in line, yield is not used. Finally, we run the Ember server and open our browser. Here is the output we get. Components are used to encapsulate data into a form that can be easily reused throughout an application. Each component can be in block or inline form and is rendered as a div tag by default. Components have a template and JavaScript file. Okay, that was a big video. We successfully used components in an application. Excellent.